What's happening, everyone? I'm Don Ferguson. Welcome to the Teeqlife Cantina for an all-new episode of Something New. What are we trying today? Well, no, I know it's dark. It's not aged tequila. It's not a whiskey. This is an aged mezcal. This is Sombra Reposado Mezcal. The agave market is blowing up. It's taking over. You're seeing some of the highest growth rates in the United States, in the world, actually. Everybody's fiending for some tequila, but what about other agave spirits? Well, let's talk about that growth rate. Tequila is projected to do 7% year over year to the year 2026. All of agave spirits account for about a 9% annual growth rate to 2026. But here's where it gets fun. Mezcal, 20% year over year to the year of 2026. So you're going to see some big spikes when it comes to mezcal. People love it. They're catching on finally. I think that just means we need to taste more mezcals. Since this is an aged mezcal, we are going to pour first because we want to let it air. We want it to breathe. You know, it's like athlete's foot. You don't want to keep that shoe on. You want, well, maybe it's not like athlete's foot. Ooh, I can smell it. Ooh, it's like something really nice. It's not a bad smell. You know, like when you're on the subway and you're like, all right, who did it? We all know what we're talking about. What does Sombra mean? Well, in Spanish, it means shadow. Sombra began as a passion project of famed sommelier, try to say that when you've been drinking a lot, and wine aficionado Richard Betts. Yes, he knew a lot about wine, had the forethinking ability to say, hey, I think this mezcal thing is going to become big. Here we go. Let's get to reviewing. We poured, it's oozing out, filling up the air like a combustible carcinogen. And I want to talk about the glasses that we're using. These are actually signature Sombra tasting glasses. So look, it fits like a watch, you know, like the watch, whatever the mechanism, I don't know what it's called, but it's just like that. So I thought it'd be fitting to use these. Wow, this is really fruity. Holy color. So the only thing about using these glasses, these cups, is, you know, being rigid, and it's almost like a bubbly glass. You can't get a clear look into the juice. So we're not going to be talking about the legs, the tears, anything like that, even though I can kind of see it dripping down. And with the color, I really got to hold it up. But when you hold it up, you're getting really a light golden ring color, you know, a nice light hue to it. But then when you look at the bottle, it looks a lot darker and deeper. So this is aged up to 6 months in French Oak Bordeaux barrels. I don't know. I think that's a wine. Bordeaux. You know, I'm not the biggest wine. If you're a fan of the show, you know I just don't really know that much about wine. But when it comes to spirits, I'm an intoxicologist. They use Espadín agave, which is the most common when it comes to mezcals. This is a limited edition artisanal mezcal. So I don't know if this is one that you can find all the time or if it was just a limited run. On the back of it, it does have a space for the lot number, which typically, you know, it associates with the run of the distillery, but it was blank. So I have no idea. I couldn't find a lot of information. I just saw that it was a limited edition. Yep, it's a light golden brown. It's almost like, you know, Golden Grams. Who didn't love that cereal growing up as a kid? You're reading the box, you know, and you got to get ready for school. But yeah, it's like, it's kind of got that hint. So a straw, hay, something like that. Really nice, you know. Oh, now on the bottom of these Sombra tasting glasses, they actually have an S. Can you guess what that's for? Aroma. It's filling the air, so we got to go in. And ooh, so you're getting something different swirling in the air, you know, around my head. And then when you go in, you really get that signature, you know, mezcal aroma. You're getting that sweet cooked agave. I'm getting some of those barrel tones. So for this color, I know it's aged 6 months. You know, that's really not a lot. So I don't know what type of complexities you're really going to get from those barrels into the juice. If you're going to pick up wood tones, you know, a little bit of that oak, a little wine. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm getting that sweetness really resonating. It's a lot of nice dried fruit, very fruit forward, which I love a good fruity mezcal. And if you check out a past episode, we did do the Sombra Hoven. I believe it was the Hoven. So you can check that episode out. Getting a little bit of smoke, so you're getting that char. And if you know about, the way that agaves are cooked when it comes to mezcal, it's a pit and it's covered, so it really traps in those smoky, fiery aromas. You're really picking that up. I'm not getting so much smoke and char. I'm getting a lot of fruit, forward complexities. It's very nice and bright. It's not at all alcohol heavy because you don't see my eyes watering, like I'm in a commercial where you're trying to, donate money for kids. I'm not crying or anything like that. It's really nice. You get a nice orange zest, so we're getting some of that citrus, but more like the orange rind, where it's a little bit of bitter, I wonder if that's going to show up in the flavor, and a little bit of pepper, but dare I say it, and I really never say it, it's very smooth. It's blended very well, so the distillery's doing a good job because this is very pleasant. Let's go in for the taste. We're going to do number one, but we're also going to talk about the distillery since I brought it up. Uno. Ooh, it's got some heat. It's definitely got some pepper. So 6 months in the barrel, didn't tone it down. It is a higher proof. We'll talk about that. But this is NAM F368D. They use a Tahona stone to crush this, but they do it a different way. So traditional ways of crushing it by Tahona stone, they use a mule, donkey, big rabbit, something, I don't know. But they don't do that. They want to do it friendly. So they have some solar, sustainability that they use, and it moves that Tahona stone, slowly crushes the agave. So no animals are harmed. PETA, we're talking to you. It's all good here. Solar. Ooh, that pepper is swimming. It's a 90 proof. So if you like a high, and a lot of mezcals are like that, which is really interesting because a lot of your aged mezcals, which are becoming very popular, you're going to start seeing even more and more higher proofs. Kind of match that whiskey aspect. But with tequila, you're not really seeing a lot of higher proofs yet. Let's go number two. We're going to talk a lot about the flavor complexities. Anytime that I do a tasting, I tell people there's a proper way to taste. Number one, coat the palate. Number two, sip. Number three, enjoy. Do whatever you want. But when people do shots, you can't ever taste it. So just think about taking a Subway sandwich and throwing it down your throat. You'll never taste, the 14-day-old lettuce or the salami that's been unopened. You get the point. So what are we picking up? Little bit smoky, little bit of that, white pepper on the back end of it. I'm getting some fruit tones. It's really warming up now. So it almost resembles like, when we talk about whiskeys or bourbons, a lower proof because they can go up to, 195 proof or something. And it's like crazy like absinthe. But you're getting those warming qualities. I'm getting a lot of nice botanical, some floral tones to it. And that's probably the agave of where it was grown, that soil. It's bringing in those elements. Espadine, I think, is really harvested around maybe 6 years up to 7 years, somewhere around there, almost like Blue Weber agave. But I'm getting a lot of stuff. What I am, we're going to save it for number three. A little bit of subdued agave sweetness. What I wanted to talk about, I'm not getting so much of wine, a little bit of that French oak, but I am picking up some oak. So even though it's only aged for 6 months, I am picking it up. It's not toning it down because it's still in 90 proof, but I'm getting some like tart sweetness of berries, like a blackberry, that's really kind of coming through. What's great about it is you don't have those pesky seeds that blackberries have. They always get caught. You're out on a date. Number four, because I can. Really warm. Whoo, it's up here. It's like swimming around in, my thyroid, which it's It's really nice, but there is some vanilla kind of coming through. I would probably say that that's from the barrel. That citrus, that orange rind is really complementing it. You have that pepper, so it is peppery. I'm not going to lie. This is a peppery, spicy, or heaty type of mezcal. Getting some agave sweetness, but it's kind of mellow. It's not really shining through like if you're tasting a Blanco, something like that. Those French oak casks, you're picking up a little bit. I really can't distinguish any type of wine. So whatever a Bordeaux is, I would assume it's red wine because it sounds pretty snooty. But I can't really pick up that on the finish. It does finish nice. This is one you got to be careful with. It is one I would say not for the novice. So if you are new to mezcal, you might want to get something a little bit more fruity, a little bit more, not 90 proof, maybe more 80 proof, and just start to climb and go from there. Yeah, I mean, this isn't for, the novice, like I said. This is definitely going to put hair on your elbows. But if that's what you're looking for, by all means, go for it. Sombra is doing some pretty damn cool things when it comes to sustainability. We talked about the solar power to move the Tahona stone. They're also a 1% for the planet member. What that means is they really take a look at their carbon footprint and try to improve it. So, for instance, the agave fiber that is waste. What they do is they compress them and then they make bricks out of them. And those bricks are used to build houses. How cool is that? Man, I might want an agave house. Think about that. That's pretty dope. My glass is getting down to the down, and that wraps up another episode of something new in the Teeqlife Cantina. Sombra Mezcal Reposado, good. Not for the faint of heart, not for the novice. I like it, but it's definitely one I have to sip slow because it's a high proof, because it has some pepper on those potatoes. And then on top of it it doesn't have a crazy depth of character. It has some body to it, but it's just not overwhelming in the flavor profile. If you want to see what's coming up on future episodes, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We always show what's coming up. If you're a brand and you want to be right here getting a tasting in the infamous Teeqlife Cantina, email us. Somebody from the team will reach out to you. Life's too short to drink bad liquor, people. Choose wisely. I do not drink bad liquor. We'll see you on the next episode. Okay, down the hatch.